Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the next video of chemistry with Sarif Sambe. In this video, we are going to start our whole new chapter, which is atomic structure. Before we look at the structure of an atom, we need to define what an atom is. An atom is basically the smallest particle of a chemical element that can exist. In one of the previous videos, we saw that oxygen was a molecule, O2. Oxygen exists as an O2 molecule. Now, oxygen is made up of two oxygen atoms. Hence, an atom is the smallest particle of a chemical element. Now, let's see how an atom looks like. An atom comprises of a nucleus. So you can see this small circle here. It's a nucleus. And this nucleus contains two subatomic particles which are called protons and neutrons. This nucleus contains protons and neutrons only. Around the nucleus, you can see there are more circles. These circles are called energy levels or shells. These circles are called energy levels or shells. These energy levels or shells will be comprising of electrons. Now you can see there are three circles around the nucleus. The first circle can only accommodate 2 electrons. So the first circle is called a duplet because it can only contain 2 electrons. The next circle you can see is an octet. By oct, I means 8 electrons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The third shell or the third energy level will comprise more than 8 electrons, but for our syllabus purposes, we're just going to stick to 8 electrons in the third shell as well. In A levels, we're going to see in detail how many maximum electrons can the third shell occupy, but for our syllabus purposes in O levels, we're also going to put 8 electrons in the third shell as well. And then 8 electrons in the fourth shell and so on and so forth. So we will see that the first energy level duplet will contain only 2 electrons and the second energy level, which is octet, will contain 8 electrons. This is for sure. Now, since we have studied that there are 3 subatomic particles, electrons, protons and neutrons, we will see the relative charges and we will see the relative masses. So contains electrons. So let's see the relative mass and the relative charge of protons, electrons and neutrons. The relative mass of a proton is 1. The relative mass of an electron has a negligible mass 1 over 1840. And the relative mass of a neutron is also 1. The relative charge of a proton is positive 1 because protons are positive. The relative charge of electrons is negative 1 and neutrons do not have a charge, so they have a charge of 0. Keep in mind that if they ask you the charge of neutron, you will not write 0 or no charge. You have to write this like 0. Now when I talk about this 1, relative mass of a proton is 1 and relative mass of a neutron is 1, by 1, the unit of mass here is not grams, the unit of mass here is not kilograms, the unit of mass here is not tons, the unit of mass here is not pounds. The unit of mass here is AMU, atomic mass units, right? But and it's a very small unit and this unit is only used for measuring the mass of subatomic particles. AMU, atomic mass units. So keep in mind that this is not 1 grams, 1 kilograms or 1 tons. This is 1 AMU. So relative mass, the units of mass in our case would be atomic mass units, AMU. Let's define what is a proton number or atomic number. So a proton number or atomic number is defined as the number of protons, present in the nucleus of an atom. This proton number is also called atomic number and it is denoted by the alphabet Z, capital Z. If I show you the periodic table, you can see over here that atomic number, the number written at the top of the atomic symbol is the atomic number. And since we just specified that the atomic number tells me about the number of protons present in the nucleus of an atom, so we can see that manganese here, this is manganese here, has 25 protons. We can see that carbon here has 6 protons. We can see that nickel here has 28 protons. We can see that beryllium here has 4 protons. So the number at the top is giving you the atomic number, which tells us about the number of protons present in the nucleus of an atom. Now let's look at what is mass number or nucleon number. Mass number or nucleon number, denoted by A, is the sum of, it is the sum of the protons and neutrons. It is the sum of protons and neutrons in the nucleus of an atom. In the nucleus of an atom. Now, since you can see over here, I will denote that with an orange color. Since you can see the number at the bottom, relative atomic mass, right? So you can also consider this relative atomic mass as new mass number for this case only. So let's say aluminum is 27. So this is the mass number of aluminum, 27. 32. To be very honest, atomic relative, this number 27 for aluminum, for 59 for nickel, 65 for zinc is the relative atomic mass. What is relative atomic mass really? I would come to that in one of the future videos. But for the case here, for just this case, I would look at this relative atomic mass as the mass number. So the mass number of sulfur here is 32. So that means sulfur has a mass of 32. If sulfur has a mass number of 32, this means that the 32 is number of protons and neutrons. And sulfur has 16 protons as given to me in the periodic table, 16 protons. So 32 minus 16, sulfur has 16 neutrons. 32 is protons plus neutrons. 16 is only protons. So protons plus neutrons minus protons will give you the number of neutrons. Similarly, if you see over here for chromium, chromium has a mass number of 52 and chromium has proton number of, or atomic number of 24. So 52 minus 24 is gonna give me 52 minus 24 is gonna give me 28 neutrons. So this is how we can find out the number of neutrons in the nucleus of an atom by subtracting. So number of neutrons can be found out by subtracting atomic number from mass number. Atomic number from mass number. Now, one thing we need to write and we need to understand here is that the number of electrons and protons, number of electrons will always be equal to the number of protons. Equal to the number of protons. So let's say, for example, carbon has 6 protons, so carbon will have 6 neutrons. Nickel has 28 protons, so nickel will have 28 electrons. Manganese has 25 protons, it will have 25 electrons. So the number of protons and electrons will always be equal in an atom. In the next video, we are going to see how the electrons of each element is arranged around the atom, is arranged around the nucleus of an atom. So till then, stay tuned everyone. Thank you very much.